Hello everyone. Right, I'm just gonna get straight into it today. The Sims Twitter account posted this photo a couple of days ago, teasing some upcoming content. Now, to the untrained eye, you might just see what information is given to us through the text. However, if you've been following the Sims news and updates for a while, then you'll know that they just love to drop hints where they can. So we're gonna be breaking down this image here and just speculating a little bit over what we think this might mean. Now let's start with the obvious. It says here that we're going to get a game pack that throws a party for love. Now immediately my thought was weddings. We do already have a wedding event in the game where your Sims can get married, but I'm hoping that this game pack will maybe flesh it out a bit more. I find all the weddings in The Sims tend to feel the same. I'm not sure if you feel the same as me. The only way I feel like I can make the weddings unique is just by decorating the wedding venue, but all the goals are the same, and that's just because that is how the event system works. And I don't mind the goals all being the same because I just imagine it would be a massive headache to go through and change it so that the goals are different every time. But what I would like to see are specific interactions within that event. For example, we could have like a congratulate the bride or the groom, or even ask the betrothed if they have cold feet type of interactions. But on a grander scale, I think it would be really cool to bring back hen parties and stag do's, or bachelorette and bachelor parties for those across the pond. We had those in The Sims 3, and they were good, although there was the issue of going to a venue and it being very empty. But that was just a general issue in The Sims 3 anyway. It didn't have anything to do with the parties. I've seen some tweets floating around that are basically asking for a new version of The Sims Hot Date, which I sadly never got to play, but it would be quite fun for them to bring back some iconic items like the heart-shaped hot tub and the vibrating heart-shaped bed that came with The Sims Living Large. But we do have to consider that Valentine's Day is coming up, and this image is just listing things that we're going to get within the next 3 months. So it could be something to do with Valentine's Day, but I'm not exactly sure how you would make a whole game pack revolving around that. And we also already have a Love Day holiday, which came with seasons. My guess is that it will be a wedding pack that will probably be released sometime around Valentine's Day. One last thing on this Party for Love game pack is if you look in the background of this image, you can see there's like tiny little images of wedding rings and wedding cake. So I'm so sure it's weddings. If it's not, then the Sims team have a lot of explaining to do. Moving on to the next bit of text, it says we're getting 2 more kits within the next 3 months. Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm just not feeling enthusiastic towards the kits anymore. I feel like it just takes away the excitement surrounding new content being released. Before kits were a thing, we'd maybe get 4, 5 packs drop in a year, maybe a free update, and it just felt more exciting, the build up to the packs being released. But at the same time, I do feel like the Sims team just can't win sometimes. You know, if they give us tons of content all the time, people will complain. But if they don't give us any updates for a couple of months, then people are like begging for new content. So what can you do, you know? There's only been a couple of kits that I've really enjoyed and felt like I've got my money's worth, which were Inch on Arrivals and the Blooming Rooms kit. They are my personal favorites. The ones we're going to get in the next few months are design-based, it seems. I'm not sure if that means fashion design, interior design. We've already had a whole game pack surrounding interior design, so most probably fashion. There's been a lot of focus on that recently with the modern menswear, Inch on Arrivals, Fashion Street. I honestly don't really know what to expect from these kits, so I'm intrigued and interested to see what it brings. And then we come to our next bit of information here, which tells us that there will be the gift of unique community collaborations both in-game and out. Collaborating with the community is not something new to The Sims 4. We've seen it with Game Changers builds being included in different packs, and custom content creators getting to have their work put into the game, like CAS items, food and build items as well. Also, a base game update added 2 art pieces that were drawn by LGBTQIA+ artists. And we actually got a lot of that free in an update last year, so I would be really pleased to see it done in a similar way again if that's what they're going to do. What I'm curious about though is that they said in-game and out. So what could an out-of-game collaboration look like? My mind immediately goes down the route of possibly collaborating with artists on some sort of merch or like marketing thing. But apart from that, I've got no clue. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think this could possibly be. I touched on this a little bit earlier when I was speaking about the collaborations, but it looks like we're going to get more free food items, which is fab. Global food items too. So I'm really excited to see what kind of meals we'll get here. Also, it must be so nice for people to see their own cultural foods represented in The Sims. I hope they add descriptions as they did with the grill foods that were added in to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. I really enjoyed reading what these meals were made up of, coming from someone who hadn't really heard of a lot of these meals beforehand. Then the last bit of text just says we're getting a few more surprises, which doesn't give us a lot to work with, but we've still got a bit more to break down in this image. So there's a lot of mention of celebration and parties. We can see some confetti coming down at the top as well. There are little pictures in the background. If you look closely, you can see what looks like tigers, peacocks, masks, the fun dress up kind, not like the, COVID kind. And the wedding cake and the rings that I mentioned earlier. This Chinese New Year will actually be the year of the tiger, which in my opinion is the best one, but that might just be because I'm biased. So we might be getting some content celebrating that, which they have done before actually. We did get some free content, I believe, for Chinese New Year. I can't remember when though. It definitely wasn't last year. It must have been a while ago now. Or even the kit that celebrates fierce design. You know what else is fierce? A tiger. Maybe I'm reading into that a bit too much. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the peacock significance is, but the masks are interesting. I've seen some people speculate that the masks might have something to do with Mardi Gras, because Mardi Gras does happen in March, so that would make sense. That kind of fits in the 3-month timeline that we've been given. I did think the peacock might have something to do with Mardi Gras, but after a quick Google search, it didn't really bring anything up, so I'm stumped on that one. The last thing I want to mention is the phone that the sim in the foreground is holding onto. It looks like there's a conversation going on there, and with all the talk of celebrating love, it's got me thinking, like, what if they're adding in online dating? I would honestly love that if they did, and it would work so well in a game pack that's solely focused around love. It might sound like I'm trying to pull things out of thin air, but why would they add that phone in if it had no significance, you know? Also, how cool would it be if they added in like an attraction system with this game pack as well? Like, I've downloaded some mods before that add in attractiveness preferences and you can choose the preferences for your Sims. I just think it makes it more realistic and would just really enjoy that if they did. Anyway, that is about everything broken down from this image, and I'm really excited to see what the next 3 months will bring to the Sims community. Please let me know your thought on all of this, on what you're most looking forward to, or even stuff that you're not really liking the sound of. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!